What's going on? So I was just speaking to some of my villagers. Actually, I have no villagers, and I need a rune forge. So I'm now going to show you the interior and exterior of a very cool rune forge. So make sure you watch all the way through, sub if you're new, like, and let's get into it. I had a few previous attempts and I didn't like any of them. I think this is like my third attempt at doing it. I looked at the prefabs for some inspiration, which you might see, but the main idea was to have this building again match a landing pad and sort of dangle over the edge with like a little bit that drops down underneath, which I use for storage, which is really cool. It's definitely worth checking that out. As you would have just seen as well, I put a partition in between, but because there's no internal doors, I decided to put the wall on the floor in between the two floor pieces, which works out, but it makes it complicated when you're trying to fit the roof, as you might see that as well. It's a good technique to do, especially if you want to have a door that actually opens and closes, because there's a lack of interior doors. This way, if you put it on the ground and snap it onto the floor piece that you're placing, you can then do that and extend the build out that way. This bit here is something that I actually practiced before, and basically I'm getting the roof piece, I'm getting it to the correct height for the next wall that's underneath to run through underneath. You'll see what I mean. With the roof piece, I basically put it as far forward as I could, so it's as far away from the rock, because I want to keep the rock inside the actual build as a feature underneath, and it takes a lot of trial and error to get it in the right place, but I do eventually get there, and it's well worth it because it looks great. What I'm doing here is very similar to the last build. I'm just prepping for the underneath bit where I make it like have a support, and the way the support works is it runs up from underneath, so there's like a steel beam embedded in the rock that allows for it to be supported as it overhangs. You obviously don't have to add it, but it makes it look more realistic. This is what I was saying earlier. You can see where I'm struggling to try and figure out how to get the roof on because of where that partition wall is. And the only piece that you can fit in there, I think, is like 4 wide roof piece, obviously the one that overhangs. And honestly, it took me a while to figure it out. I ended up having to like shift the whole build forwards, but you know what, it worked out really well and it was worth it. Clearly, I just bottled it that time, did not get it right, so I'm going to fly through us doing it correctly this time, and you can actually watch how I done it, and you can finally see how it should look. Despite me just almost falling to my death, we did manage to get it right that time. I think I had to swap around the gables the way that they face. Now I'm just going to change out the front window and then we can get onto the next bit. Right, so now we can finally make a start on the underside bit. The hardest part was trying to line the floor up. Once we got that, I had to put the floor along and then I had to do some divider bits because it wouldn't have looked right if I'd had that wood grain going sideways. It looked rubbish. So I had to put the grey one to sort of almost contrast a little bit and show that it's divided. It also helps with like dividing the rooms and sectioning it all off. And then you can see there I've actually still got the rock included. I thought that was quite a nice little touch. Here, because there's no compatible half walls, I have to come up with something creative. Also for the gap in the ceiling as well, only did I realise that once I built the roof there wasn't a piece that I could fit up there, so I had to again improvise something for that, and to be honest it turned out great. Like, I think I could not have done it any better if I tried. Also, if you're still watching and obviously you're interested in either the content or what I'm building, I would like some feedback on the energy. What do you think works? Do you think the pacing's good? Do you reckon I should slow down the footage a little bit? Try and talk louder, even though I'm tired from being at work all day and I don't think I have the energy for that? Or would you like the more chilled out talking? Any feedback, let me know what you think. I really appreciate it, and I will try and implement it because I want to make these videos as entertaining and as useful to you as a viewer as possible. So let me know what you think, and I really appreciate any input from you guys. After much calculation, I'd figured out that the best gap for this bit here would be the 2 wide piece and then a gap of 4, another 2 wide piece, a gap of 4, and so on. And that way it works evenly and it looks more symmetrical. And you know what? So far, I think this build is looking great. As I said, it took me a long time to figure out how to do it, but I think it looks so good, and we'll shortly be moving on to the inside, and it will be good for you to see, get some inspiration from the internal decoration that I do. So we'll get to that just after I show you what I talked about earlier, the underneath supports. I'm pretty sure if you've seen the last video, you know how I'm going to do it, but this way slightly different, and again, it just gives it that extra special little touch. It makes it look a lot better. And that's the premise of it. I think that's enough. I wouldn't really want to add any more to it. otherwise it might be a little bit too much, a little bit overkill, but you can see where it matches really well. Obviously the landing pad would need a longer support, but this one is a nice wide one and it looks great. It looks unique, to be honest. So I think what is left is just the internals now. Also, don't forget to smash the like button. Why haven't you done it already? Oh no, I keep going on about the internals. I've mentioned like 5 times and I've just forgotten. I've still got to do that little bit that bridges the rooms together. So again, sorry, I'll show you that and then I promise we will get into the internals and it will be worth it. So you can see me playing around with a few ideas. What I'm ultimately trying to do is create like a raised platform with lights around it. It doesn't go exactly how I thought, but the way that it turned out I was more than happy with. So I might shut up for a minute, play some music, and you can just sort of watch the process of what I'm doing, and I'll jump in and out as and when I feel I need to say something. So just enjoy the rest of the build decorating. It didn't take long for me to feel the urge to talk again. I just wanted to say this bit here. I basically could not think of anything to build in the other room, so I came over here, put down some chairs. This is going to turn into like a little waiting area, sort of chill out area. So yeah, I go take some time away from the game, then I come back and I speak to someone who sends me some images that inspire me a little bit. So then now I will shut up, probably. I don't know. So that's a little potion area done. Because this is supposed to be like a village hut sort of thing. Also in the images that I was sent, you can see like the beams and stuff, wooden beams going across the ceiling. I feel like that sort of makes it look a bit less futuristic, because some of the decorations do look a bit futuristic. I wanted to try and even and balance it out a little bit. So what I've done is just whack some beams along, which again with these roof pieces was really fiddly to get right. So I'm going to try and show you the best bits of it going well. And again, yeah, it just completely changes the inside and the way that it looks, and also really helps to divide up the room, because sometimes you get a lot of open and empty space. So let's just carry on with that. It wouldn't be right without a weapons rack, showing off some of the new weapons with the enchantment effects, or the essence, whichever they're called. And the coolest part is you can actually still see the glowing and the animation even when they're hung on the wall. So that's a really nice touch by Epic. Anyway, I'm just gonna play some nice music for you to listen to, let the footage roll and play some music. I do alter a few things with the actual exterior of the build, but you'll see all of that. And then I'll catch up with you again at the end of the video when we do a final walkthrough and showcase. What is going on? Well done for making it this far, my 12-minute gang. Comment that if you actually made it this far and you want to comment it. So this is the outside of the house. This is the underneath of it. You can see the supports. It's got the new balcony added. This is how you would land into the village and dismount your vehicle and walk through towards the Rune Forge. Here is the entrance. Got lots of seating, coffee, tea, water, machines, everything that you need. Take a nice seat and wait for them to go and forge your weapon or whatever it is, enchant it. Then you come in, you've got the potion area where you would obviously make these different enchantment potions and whatnot. This is the actual Rune Forge. There's 2 of them, so you can have 2 people. You've got a scroll next to it so you can write down. There's a weapons display here as well, which showcases how they look afterwards, after they've been enchanted, or the correct term for it, whatever, forged. Just a storage box there, some tools. This is some fitted furniture for all of the important documents, and another one as well. They match, they look great. So it's a nice little seating area. You've got the rock feature behind you, you've got the nice view in front of you. Yeah, and it's nice to sit there and think about your designs and stuff. Speaking of, there's a desk to my right there that you can see. That's nice to sit on. All this random items on the left and plenty of storage and those 2-tier chests. And also another little dumping ground desk as well. It's all wooden furniture, so it looks really nice. It fits in with the build perfectly. This is the desk where you'd sit down and think of new plans. They didn't want to put too much clutter in there. It's got just the right amount for it to look used and lived in. Yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. So that is the end of the video. If you did enjoy, please smash that like button, leave a comment, it really helps. And subscribe if you're new. I'll catch you in the next one.